What are you scared of? The question slithers through your mind like smoke through cracked glass, doesn't it? You feel it crawling under your skin, that familiar itch of recognition. Because you know, oh, you know, but you've been so fucking good at pretending you don't. You're scared of the mirror that doesn't lie, the one that shows you at 3 a.m. when the makeup has melted away and the performance has finally ended. You're terrified of that raw, unfiltered thing staring back at you. The one who knows every compromise you've made, every time you've swallowed your truth like bitter medicine, every moment you've chosen comfort over courage. You're scared of being ordinary, not the romantic kind of ordinary they sell in movies, but the real kind. The kind where you realize you're not special, you're not chosen, you're not exempt from the grinding machinery of existence. The kind where your problems aren't unique snowflakes, but mass-produced misery, stamped out in factories of human suffering that have been running since time began. But here's the sick joke. You're equally terrified of being extraordinary. Because extraordinary means responsibility. It means you can't hide behind the comfortable excuse of, I'm just like everyone else. It means the voice in your head that whispers, you could do more, be more, fight more, isn't lying, and that's the most horrifying realization of all. You're scared of your own power. Not the power to control others, that's amateur hour psychology, but the power to control yourself. The power to say no when your programming screams yes. The power to choose discomfort over numbness, growth over safety, truth over the beautiful lies you've been feeding yourself like poison disguised as medicine. You're terrified of being alone with yourself, really alone, without the noise, without the distractions, without the endless scroll of other people's curated lives to compare yourself to. Just you in the echoing chambers of your own mind, where all your unprocessed trauma sits waiting like patient predators in the dark. You're scared of love, not the Hallmark card bullshit, but the kind that demands you show up as you are, flawed, broken, healing, messy. The kind that asks you to be vulnerable when every instinct screams to build higher walls. You're terrified that if someone really saw you, the parts you hide, the thoughts you're ashamed of, the ways you failed yourself, they'd run. And you're even more terrified that they might stay, because then you'd have to learn what you're actually worth. You're scared of your anger, the righteous kind that's been buried under layers of be nice, be polite, don't make waves. You're terrified of the fire that would burn if you acknowledged how many times you've been minimized, dismissed, used, or ignored. Because that anger might demand action, and action is dangerous. It might mean disappointing people, setting boundaries, refusing to be convenient. You're scared of time, the way it moves like water through your fingers, carrying away chances you didn't take, words you didn't say, risks you didn't risk. You're terrified that you're sleepwalking through your own life, and by the time you wake up, it'll be too late to course correct. You feel it ticking in your bones. The awareness that every day you don't choose yourself is a day you'll never get back. You're scared of being seen as selfish, so you've made yourself small, agreeable, convenient. You've learned to apologize for taking up space, for having needs, for being inconvenient in your humanity. You're terrified that if you stop performing as the good person, people will see who you really are. Someone with desires, boundaries, and the audacity to believe you matter. Here's what you need to understand, and it's going to hurt. These fears aren't your enemies. They're your teachers, your guides, your fucking wake-up calls. They're showing you exactly where your work is. Every fear is an arrow pointing toward the life you're meant to be living, but are too scared to claim. Somewhere deep in the marrow of your bones, that you're capable of so much more than you're allowing yourself to be. You know you could burn brighter, love deeper, fight harder, create more boldly, and that knowing is both a gift and a curse. The horror isn't in the fear itself. The horror is in the realization that you've been complicit in your own diminishment, that you've been the warden of your own prison, the author of your own limitations. You've been so busy being afraid of the monster under the bed that you never noticed you were feeding it. But here's the twisted comfort in all this darkness. You're not broken. You're not weak for being scared. Fear is data, not destiny. It's information about what matters to you, what you value, what you're not willing to lose. The real question isn't what are you scared of? It's what are you going to do with that fear? Are you going to let it be your master or your messenger? Are you going to use it as an excuse to stay small or as fuel to burn brighter? Your fears are not your finale. They're your beginning. What are you scared of? Now that you know, what are you going to do about it?